this episode of Ice Pilots NWT, a water bomber engine springs an oil leak over Turkey.
They look at this as just normal. No, it's not normal.
Trainee pilots get put to the test.
Pull back to right.
Chief pilot Arnie Schrader hits the water.
Get right like that.
And the other water bomber hits the tarmac.
Hang on to your hats, boy.
A military base on the outskirts of Ankara, Turkey. A Buffalo Airways CL-215 water bomber is getting rebranded by its new owners, the Turkish government.
That's a big balloon.
It took Buffalo Chief Pilot Arnie Schrader 6 weeks to bring this $2 million water bomber to Turkey. But the only thing getting up in the air today is a hot air balloon.
Trying to get me in there. Yeah.
Arnie is still waiting for official government permission to fly training runs in the CL-215.
Anything about balloons? I think I'll stick with aircraft, with engines.
Buffalo mechanic Corey Dodd is also trying to pass the time and blow off steam after nearly 2 weeks of waiting at the base.
Well, today we started off with a 10 o'clock workout, and now we're on the way to the, I think it's the 12 o'clock bacteria fest. So we'll see what they offer us today. Imagine it'll be one of three things: sheep, or sheep.
Corey joins Arnie in the military base cafeteria.
I don't know what the hell that is. Sheep in a pickle. Not bad.
After lunch, Corey checks out the water bomber parts that have just arrived from Canada. Getting the Turks up to speed isn't going to be simple.
One jack for 2 airplanes.
Things get lost in translation.
Paperwork. Just records, like documents.
Mistakes can easily be made.
This one here we'll have to take out to the airplane.
Aircraft side, left side, there is a small plug.
That's for the foam and pressure.
Okay.
We change the valves and the pump will suck.
Same pump.
Yep. I'll show you. As you can see, there's a bit of a language barrier. This is one big adventure. Yeah.
Corey supervises the tank installation on board the CL-215. This tank holds fire retardant foam spray. The tank is ready to go. But for now, that's as far as things will get. Corey and Arnie are in permit limbo, tangled up in government red tape. Meanwhile, on Santa Maria, an Azorian island in the Atlantic, Buffalo's other water bomber bound for Turkey is getting set to take off.
It's windy here today.
Pilots George Fury and Dave Poole have been stranded here after a hairy emergency landing 2 weeks ago. They tried to leave, but encountered an engine overspeed problem.
Sakes, we got an overspeed.
They turned around and shut down the engine, making it back to Santa Maria. Then, they were stuck there waiting for the engine to be repaired. Now, as they leave this island once again, it's all systems go. Or so they hope.
Okay, you just hold that heading and I'll just punch her in.
They're headed for their first stop, mainland Portugal. In Yellowknife, Rod and Mikey McBrien are tracking the water bomber's course over the Atlantic.
Now we can see that they're doing fine, they're going fast, they got a good wind. They've maintained 9,000 feet now for 4 hours, so we know it's running good, simple.
It's not long before George and Dave begin their approach to Lisbon, Portugal.
There she is. This is TXB, and it just did the last oceanic flight, which was from the Azores to Portugal. Tomorrow they're going to Spain, hang out in Spain for a day, and then make their way to Turkey.
Just outside on the tarmac, the daily Buffalo Sked flight arrives from Hay River. Rampie Jeremy Dow is on board. He's come to Yellowknife to work for the day.
Forgot to tell Yellowknife that it was spring. Minus 15, no freaking 2.
As Jeremy curses the cold, his Rampie rival Wilf is pulling out all the stops. Today, he's making his debut as the Sked's flight attendant, and he's sprucing up for the occasion.
Now what have I done?
If Wilf's gambit works, he'll jump ahead of Jeremy, get his flying skills checked out, and move up the ladder to the co-pilot seat.
It's always a competition between rampies as to who gets picked for a checkout. The sooner the checkout, the more flying you do, and the faster you progress.
Wilf is very keen, very eager, very straight-edged.
He is eager. Eager to please, eager to do whatever looks good. So be it.
Wilf wastes no time taking charge behind the ticket counter.
Wilf, I just saw him. He was wearing a shirt and tie, eh?
You gotta be shitting me. Like, he's actually wearing a shirt and tie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
A shirt and tie. Jeez Louise.
Can you give this to the lady back there?
He's actually wearing a suit and tie for that shirt and tie.
You know, freaking Wilf wore a shirt and tie to his first day of flight attendant the Sked? Is that must be a Buffalo first for sure.
Probably gonna be a Buffalo last as soon as he does it for 2 days.
This is an appropriate level of dress for, a commercial operation, and I don't think that, looking like a hobo is necessarily appropriate.
They're not hobos. Hobo him.
So, your first day flight attendant, what did you wear?
Probably something like this. Maybe grubbier, I don't know. It's a dirty job, man.
But Wilf is quick to point out that flight attending is a cut above working the ramp.
I'm also not doing the same work as a rampie. Rampie.
Oh, really? He's calling me a rampie now.
I intend to run it for all it's worth. Yeah, so just leave it like it is right now.
As flight attendant, Wilf has to make sure all the passengers are present and accounted for.
Goes here.
But Jeremy throws his rival a curveball.
He told a customer that she could run to Walmart and come back, and we'd hold the plane for her. And she hasn't paid a ticket, she hasn't nothing. She did leave her ID here, which is even more confusing.
Wilf had a rather imperfect first day for a flight attendant.
If I take it to the plane and she doesn't show, we're hosed.
Yeah.
If I don't take it to the plane and she hops on last minute, still host.
All of a sudden you've got a really confused, stressed out first-time flight attendant. Joe's chomping at the bit to get in the air like he always is at 10 to 5.
Right, everybody? Need pre-board?
Pre-board's already on.
Come on, let's go. Get out. Don't be scared.
Everybody was on board except this one passenger.
She hasn't shown up yet. Her luggage is in the van if she's not on the plane.
I sort of thought it was funny as hell. Whatever.
Minutes before the DC-3 is set to taxi out, Jeremy shows up with the missing passenger.
Oh, sure. Luggage ID? Rock on.
Hey, man, I got you covered. I got you covered.
But Wilf is still flustered.
Good evening, folks. Welcome aboard Buffalo Airways. This is my first flight, so if I mess anything up, please forgive me. I'd like to prepare for departure. Please ensure that your seat backs are locked in their upright position and your seat belts are fastened. Already messed up one thing.
Flight attending's a step, but being in the cockpit's the right place.
But to reach that place and to catch up to his rival, Jeremy realizes he has to make the move out of Hay River and get closer to Buffalo HQ.
Looks like I definitely have to get to Yellowknife. I really have to get this ball rolling in order to advance in the company.
"8,000 kilometers away in Turkey, Arnie Schrader has received some very good news.
Thank God. Been sitting here for 12 days waiting for permission. So, I'm glad to get it started.
With his flying permit approved, Arnie can now give his Turkish trainees their first lesson in a Canadian water bomber. Finally, after a long wait, it's time to fly. Arnie has the trainees touch down and then take off right away, a maneuver called touch and go, the best way to get them used to the airplane. When the training day ends, the Turkish pilots are thrilled.
It's very nice.
One of Arnie's trainees, named Cenk, is delighted with his first experience piloting the 215.
It can turn for sure. Yeah, it was awesome.
Well, he's pretty experienced pilot. Eh? Yes. He's not going to have any trouble with this. Very intelligent. Eh? They all are. Kind of slewed around a little bit, you know, but it's pretty good.
Hey.
Coming up,
We have the runway in sight for
the
takeoff.
two water bomber crews reunite
See, Annie?
Coming back.
and hit more than just the water.
Just a little ship right there. It's got
Out over the Mediterranean, water bomber pilots Dave Poole and George Fury are on their last leg to Turkey. Finally. At the military base outside Ankara, Corey and Arnie are tracking the other water bomber's progress using GPS satellite technology.
They got up to the border of Tunisia here, and they sent them straight back down to Malta, so there must be some war exercises or something going on there. They didn't give them clearance through Tunisia.
The plane is already over a week late to reach Turkey, and today's rerouting has caused further delays.
They should arrive here somewhere PM.
If we're doing 169 knots, they haven't really started slowing down the land either. Yeah, if they're down around there, you know they're about to touch down. But 169, they've still got some.
In Yellowknife, Mikey and Scott Blue are also tracking George and Dave's water bomber as it approaches Ankara.
And here they came down here and duped up here. Now they're in the mountains, so they stayed pretty high, and then they just dropped a whole bunch of altitude. Yeah, they're only about 700 feet above, right? So they're really starting to slow it down, dropping the gear, starting to drop the flaps. Next time it updates, they'll be on the ground. There you go.
They're done. They landed. Yay!
Champagne! It's Friday. Let's get drunk at work. Screw it.
At the Ankara airport, George, Dave, and engineers Matt Boulanger and Norm Byrne are finally setting foot in Turkey.
Hello, hello.
It's time for this trip to be over.
But their journey isn't over yet. They're headed for the military base outside Ankara to join Arnie and Corey.
2 hours.
But to get there, they'll have to cut through some red tape.
I guess we're waiting for some kind of permit to land after we already landed, so we could take off to another airport.
After a few hours, they get the clearance they need thanks to Cenk. He's showing up at the airport to translate and pave the way for their departure.
It's been a long day, but we take care of all the problems. We solve all of them, so we're going home base, finally.
What's ground here? 121.9?
Yeah, 121.9.
It's It's only 20 minutes across Ankara to the base. But after flying all day, another flight is the last thing the pilots want.
You need a cold beer, Rooster.
Had nothing. All day.
Confirm subsided course.
She's calling for confirmation. Say confirm.
Confirm. Yeah, we have the runway in sight for Tango X-ray Bravo.
Copy, sir. Continue approach. I'll call for its frequency.
And now pull her nose up and get a bit of flap on.
Look, Roger, we'll call you over the marker.
Well, gear change. 1, 2, 3 down.
Yeah.
Finally, they reach the base.
How's it going? Good to see you, Arnie.
You made it.
Yes, finally. Hi.
I'm in a bad mood today. Jesus sent you all over today.
I know. Yesterday too. We ran into a lot of problems, so I mean, you can accept. You know, I suppose you would expect some of that, but we had too many delays, really. So sort of catches up with you after a while.
Arnie tries to cheer them up with his good news.
Well, we just got approval to fly now.
Really?
Yeah. So just got their insurance straightened out and stuff.
But George won't be sticking around to train the Turkish pilots. He has other commitments back home.
I've been on the road now since February the 11th. I think I deserve a break. Homeward bound for me.
Starting from the top.
He's found a roommate, but now all Jeremy Dow has to find is an apartment in Yellowknife that they can afford.
My name is Andrew. I just moved up to Yellowknife, and I'm looking for a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment.
Seems like a nice guy. He's from BC, therefore we have a bit in common there.
Next one.
Unfurnished condo.
Andrew Vike was working the ramp in Hay River like Jeremy. And like Jeremy, he wants to be in Yellowknife where he has a shot at a pilot job.
You can't be in Hay River and expect to fly like you want to. We need to rework in here. All the advantages are here. Just everything's here and nothing's in Hay River anymore.
How does know this?
$1,500 a month for a 3-bedroom. Ready?
Yeah.
The only thing that isn't here is an affordable apartment.
Prices are ridiculous here. Absolutely ridiculous. Well, they're like Vancouver, but without the Vancouver.
Immediately, as soon as possible. Oh, it's been rented. Thanks very much for your time.
The rampies strike out. But fortunately, there's an angel of mercy in Yellowknife. Kelly Jarasovic,
Thank you very much.
Oh, no
Buffalo's
problem, guys.
cargo manager and resident mother hen.
The kitchen is your guys' in the morning. Just get up. I got toast, there's eggs, there's whatever you guys want. You guys make.
Kelly has been great to me. I didn't have a place for a couple days and she insisted that I stay with her, which was more than kind. It was great.
If you run out of toilet paper, ass wipes in there, I just put a fresh roll on. Kitchen's yours. Make yourself at home. That's the way it is. If you don't, I'll be pissed. Deal?
Deal.
Okay. When you guys get your place, it's fine. You gotta invite me over for a game of poker.
Not bad.
The next day in Turkey, Arnie and Dave put the Turkish training into overdrive. It's the last phase of this $7 million sale of 2 Buffalo water bombers to the government of Turkey. Cenk is flying with Dave today to translate for the other trainees on board.
Instruments. Okay.
Arnie takes off with his trainees.
Ready? Here's your rudder to keep it straight now. Get up. Keep it up. Car 1?
Yeah.
The 2 water bombers are heading for Izmir, a port city by the Aegean Sea 500 kilometers away. There, they can begin practical exercises scooping and dumping water.
Ground 62, climb to flight level 170.
Flaps up? Yeah. After takeoff's complete.
Suddenly, en route, Dave's Turkish trainees spot trouble. An oil leak on the left engine.
He says, hey, look at this. Is this normal? So I took a look and I said, no, it's not normal.
This could be trouble.
You run out of oil, the engine is
Dave will have decide whether to land at the nearest airfield or try to make it to the runway in Izmir.
Ready? Yep. Okay.
After a string of delays, Captain Dave Poole is finally in Turkey training water bomber pilots.
Okay, left up. Power on? Yeah. So everything looks good, so.
But on his very first flight from Ankara to Izmir, a serious problem. An oil leak.
He says, hey, look at this, is this normal? So I took a look and I said, no, it's not normal.
Dave has to decide whether to find a place to land right away or push on another 150 kilometers to Izmir.
Like it's coming out that nose case plug,
I'll just keep an eye on the oil pressure. If I have to, I'll feather it. But...
Dave chooses to keep going, but can he reach Izmir before the engine overheats?
Yeah, they changed the cylinder and it may be, I don't know. They'll look at it when we get out. That's the runway, right there, right?
The Izmir airstrip is in sight.
Actually, I have control. Just tell them I have control because we're high on it. Get her down. Okay.
With the engine bleeding oil, Dave throws the water bomber into a steep approach.
Don't normally do this, Jake, but because that oil, I don't want it to go around.
By the time Dave puts the plane on the tarmac in Izmir, the engine has lost a lot of oil.
Gee, oil leak. Where? Left engine, look at it. Oh, I think it's that.
Fixing a 2,000-pound engine on a remote airstrip isn't going to be easy for Corey.
There's not a freaking stand or anything around here. These people are completely unprepared. It's actually getting quite frustrating now.
I'm gonna go talk to Mikey and Mike, see what they want done with me.
He's only been in Yellowknife a few days, but Jeremy Dow is about to catch a break. A Buffalo DC-4 is scheduled for a freight run to Hay River. And Captain Justin Simley needs onboard crew. Jeremy is the rampie in the right place at the right time.
You're there to assist the people in loading and unloading and whatnot, but really, you're there because you really want to fly. And with any luck, you're going to get a chance to do that while you're on that flight.
We're all set, boys? All set. Pause the rate. Pause the rate, gear up. Looks all good, eh? You betcha.
Sure enough, shortly after takeoff, Justin calls Jeremy into the cockpit.
Where's the seat adjust?
It's just off to your right side. There's two handles. It'll be the bottom one.
I was hoping that I would get to fly during that flight. I didn't know if it was going to happen or not. I thought it might, and lo and behold, it did work that way. Getting some stick time, getting to fly something like that, DC-4 straight out of school, that's awesome, and the only way you do that is by getting from Hay River to Yellowknife.
What's your question here, latest, sir? We're inbound from Yellowknife, 40 back, 3,500 feet.
As they approach Hay River, Justin surprises Jeremy.
They're going to do the landing?
It was quite surprising, to me anyways, that he was going to let me land it.
No, he's going to land. You think we learn to be pilots by pretending, or what?
That's how you train guys. You got to get them in the seat and let them get the feel of the airplane.
Here, take it into a pretty small airstrip and land it. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, I hope you talk me through it.
You're 2 miles from the threshold, a little low. Oh, coming on profile, actually.
The DC-4 is in the hands of a 21-year-old rookie pilot. This is Jeremy's big moment.
All right, coming down. Selectors on the mains, cross speeds are off, quantity checks, gear selectors up, landing weight checks. Gear approach checklist complete. Roger. So 1.5 miles from the threshold out of 500 feet, profile check, flowing through 100. Main thing is heels on the floor, don't touch the brakes, okay? Roger. When you touch the brakes, we'll skid all the fucking main tires off, so don't do that to me. You got it. Look down the runway and make sure the airplane's straight. If it's not straight, it's gonna do some crazy shit. Jeremy, let's get on that center line. Come on, baby. Come on down.
In a matter of seconds, this novice flyer has to bring a massive 4-engine aircraft down onto a runway for the first time.
Bring it down now. Bring it down now. Okay, flare. Right there. Just hold it. Bang on. That's money. Nothing to it. Good job, my man. Thanks. I don't know if you guys heard me talk about my shit-eating grin. Yeah, this is gonna be it.
Oh, Jeremy did good, yeah. I was happy with the way he flew well. It's good to get the guys that are working hard on the ramp some, a little bit of stick time. That's what they come up here for, is to get into the seat and be a pilot.
I'm happy that I was able to perform well enough that people said it was a good landing and whatnot.
After a success like this, there's no doubt in Jeremy's mind that he's made the right move.
It was the right decision to make, getting up to Yellowknife, and immediately I saw the benefits and the rewards of doing so, and I was starting to fly.
Coming up, a training flight skids to a calamitous end.
Put all of yourself down. Let me put landing gear down.
In Yellowknife, things are looking up for Buffalo Rampie's Jeremy Dow and Andrew Vike.
Up and over. I would say watch your step, but I know you can't see anything. Andrew and I were able to find an apartment, but it was pretty darn expensive, and it pretty much drained me financially.
This will be interesting.
Yeah, this will be interesting.
We're gonna put it this way and right in that room.
While unloading the few pieces of furniture they have, they're greeted by the neighbors.
We're moving in.
You guys suck.
Not for free.
Scott Blue and Jynelle Glenn share a place upstairs with Jynelle's boyfriend, Buffalo Captain Devin Brooks.
See you in a bit.
Moving up to Yellowknife was a good thing for Jeremy. It's going to cost him more money, but at the end of the day, it's a necessary expense in his life to progress as a pilot.
Nice.
Yeah.
The next day at the Buffalo Cargo Terminal, Kelly and Jynelle are on a mercy mission.
Okay, we're off to the dump to shop for Jeremy. Kitchen chairs, presents, pots and pans, porn. Everything's at the dump.
Kelly and Jynelle took a drive over to, the Yellowknife shop for people starting up here, which is the dump.
We're just like to go shopping.
Shopping?
Yeah.
We have a sale on today for t-shirts.
Awesome, thanks. They just want chairs for poker, so.
When I came up here, I was pretty lonely for my family, and Buffalo became my family. And these kids are the same way. Their families aren't here. Sometimes I think of the mother for them all.
There's one kitchen chair. Yeah. Shit, they don't have to match, do they? You sit on it, see if it works. Sit. I just thought we'd surprise him. It was great shit from the dump. Whatever. Load up his truck. What the where'd this shit come from? No names, no nothing. Surprise. I love it. Quickly get this shit in there before he sees us.
Back at the Buffalo hangar, Kelly, Jynelle, and Al load their found treasure into Jeremy's truck.
Beer cooler. So he gets a star today.
They clear out just as Jeremy returns from a courier run.
Why is there stuff in the back of my van? Hey,
Andrew also notices Jeremy's packed truck.
Where the hell did you find this stuff?
I didn't. You're seeing where I just found it.
Huh.
I have cool friends somewhere. I need to go talk to them. Hey, Jack, did you have anything to do with that?
That was part of it.
I figured it was something to do with my great buddy Kelly there. Kelly's like our mom.
Okay.
It's awesome. It's like family here. Yeah, you guys rock. I got friends in high places.
In Izmir, Turkey, there may be one water bomber down for repair, but that still leaves one ready to fly.
Arnie, how you doing?
So Buffalo's chief pilot Arnie Schrader can do what he does best.
Here comes the fun. We're going to the water.
Put his trainees and the water bomber through their paces.
Get up. Be careful when you're mountainous terrain, or with any hills. Fucking fly into them. Yep. Go and then I'm gonna do them.
The Turkish trainees are all experienced pilots, but skimming the 215 along a lake will be a new experience.
Kind of go like this. Bring your boat down, cut the light, arm the doors, and you're ready. So give me that thing so you memorize it. Okay. Here comes it. Hey, give me 15, 24. Okay.
When they hit the lake, the water will enter through a pair of shoebox-sized openings on the underside of the aircraft. It then passes into two 2,700-liter tanks located on either side of the fuselage. Any overflow drains via the outlets at the top. Once the plane lifts off, the intake closes and the belly doors are ready to open to release the water.
So I don't want to get your speed too high, but that's it. Your ball's out of the center there, buddy. Yeah. No big coordinated. Good, I want you to get the attitude, Okay. The attitude is about like that, Speed's good, you got 110 on there. You gotta get down to about 80. Draw it back. There's the attitude. Big okay. Okay, no power. Alright. Don't pull back too much. Right there, you just hold it in the attitude.
The unique hull design allows the CL-215 to sit 5 feet deep and skim along the water. When skimming, the aircraft maintains a speed of about 150 kilometers an hour, scooping an incredible 5,400 liters of surface water.
Here comes the probe. Probe's gonna go up, check it slightly. Power set, probe's up. Probe's up. Okay, there's your 80, your passage, you can tug it out of the water.
After a bumpy ride, they lift off the lake with an additional 10,000 pounds of water in the tanks.
His arm? Yep. Okay, up, cover. There you go. Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure to fly with you. That was fun, eh? Yeah.
Now that they've had their first taste of what the CL-215 can do, Cenk and the other trainees are eager to master this new aircraft.
That was awesome. That was
But not every training flight is going to go this well. Water bomber flight training has finally started in Turkey, but the steady stream of problems combined with extended delays have pushed engineer Corey Dodd to the end of his rope.
I'll be happy when we arrive back on Canadian soil. Hopefully next week. Should be there. Drink Canadian beer.
Corey managed to repair an engine oil leak under difficult conditions.
They didn't have a forklift or anything, and we had a major oil leak on this engine, which we fixed. We would use the fuel truck as a work stand, which is kind of a pain in the ass, but, well.
With leak fixed, the water bomber is ready to fly.
All the way up already, up.
Arnie and Corey look on as the Turkish trainee pilots practice runway touch and goes before heading to the water. The first Turkish trainee touches down perfectly. Another trainee takes the stick. He executes an excellent touch and go and raises the landing gear. As the 215 comes around, a third Turkish pilot takes over. From the tarmac, everything seems to be going fine. Arnie and Cenk warm up the other 215 for more training runs. But then, as the other plane descends towards the runway for one more touch and go, something is wrong. The landing gear is not down. The plane careens toward the end of the runway. At the last second, our cameraman scrambles for cover. As a last resort, the water bomber pilots throttle up to get back into the air. Everyone is stunned.
What's happened there, Corey? Like,
They didn't put landing gear down.
no landing gear. Oh, no landing gear down. Fire, man.
What happened?
They didn't have the landing gear down. They touched the pavement. Like I saw sparks and everything. That's why I got off the runway.
Hey.
Unbelievable.
No one knows how badly damaged the plane is, or if it can make a safe landing when it comes back around. The crew lowers the wheels, but the hydraulics may have been damaged when the plane scraped along the runway. They do a flyby to get a visual confirmation from the ground.
Give a thumbs up, the gear is down.
It's gonna be a great training for them.
Oh, I didn't want that type of training.
Cenk is in radio contact with the Turkish pilots in the water bomber.
They say it shows all down and lock right now.
Okay, it looks...
I'll confirm that.
They had no hydraulics?
That's what they say.
If the hydraulic lines are damaged, the gear could collapse under the weight of the plane when it touches down again. A crowd has gathered on the tarmac, waiting for the plane to land.
We'll have to see what damage has been done to the hull.
The damaged water bomber makes its final approach. Everyone holds their breath. The landing gear holds, but now there's a problem simply steering and stopping the plane. It's so bad that the nose of the plane rolls off the runway before coming to a halt.
Can't steer it. No hydraulics, he said. Oh yeah.
There's a 10-foot gash in the bottom of the airplane.
Yeah, good.
And hydraulic lines have been damaged as well.
Yeah, we gotta tow it backwards. Oh no, we'll just keep everyone out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweat. Away from the door. The doors open up, kill you.
Holy.
It's a crushing blow for the Buffalo crew. The Turkish trainee pilots are dumbfounded.
Get out of there. He's gonna open up.
As Corey and Norm assess the damage.
Okay.
See the daylight.
Yeah, this is a bad sign.
That's not normal.
Have a picture of this?
Corey jumps into the cockpit to try and figure out what happened.
We get in the airplane right after, you can usually tell what wasn't done properly.
Since the gear worked, this could be a clear case of pilot error. Someone will have to report the whole incident to Buffalo Joe.
Oh my God, you don't even want to know what Joe's gonna do.
Coming up, Corey calls Joe.
How you doing?
Not very good.
Yeah, it's Corey Dodd now.
We had a bit of an incident this morning. It's a pretty bad one.
It was the most shocking landing in Buffalo Airways history.
Yeah, ain't good.
A few hours later, engineers Corey Dodd and Norm Byrne wait until it's morning back in Yellowknife to give Joe the bad news.
What time is it there?
8:30.
Corey makes the call.
It's a call you never really want to make.
How you doing? Yeah, it's Corey Dodd now in Turkey.
We had a bit of an incident this morning.
It's a pretty bad one. They took out TXB. They did a couple circuits. On their third circuit, they came around.
And they landed gear up.
That's a sick feeling in the old gut, man.
When you see the gear up and you can't do anything. You can't do anything about it.
There's a long ways between a hydraulic leak and a gear handle not being put down.
Despite his fiery temper, when Joe faces a crisis, he's cool as a cucumber.
See, Joe under pressure is really good. He's really a smooth thinker. He's really, that's when he's at his best.
All right.
Still, Joe's disappointment is obvious.
That is the kindergarten of flying. If you're going to launch your boat, be sure it's in the water. You know, or if you're going to ride a train, make sure there's a railroad track going that way. But if you're going to land an airplane, make sure your goddamn wheels are down. Jesus Christ.
He's pissed. I mean, I'd be too, but, you know, he wasn't freaking out or anything, so, I mean, nothing he can do there, nothing we can do here, just, you know, move forward.
Back in the Buffalo hangar, the brothers McBrien crawl under a 215 to get an idea of the damage.
This part is wore down, just basically because, I mean, the runway is a huge piece of sandpaper, and their plane's at 30 whatever plus 1,000 pounds. You have to drag it 2,000 feet down this piece of sandpaper.
In the aviation world, maintenance guys tend to bond with their planes. For Rod, seeing the actual pictures of the ripped-up water bomber hull really hurts.
Why does it hurt the most? Because the time investment and the stupidity of the incident.
Well, Rod's pretty upset. He feels the pain for everybody.
Why is it all open like that?
Because that's where the skin was.
Did they take the skin off, or that's
no,
what
it ground off.
Oh.
Nothing got ripped off.
Or ground down to nothing.
The CL-215s are equipped with a fail-safe system to prevent this kind of mistake.
I'll tell you what you should have heard. Long before you got to the f***ing runway.
Joe's take is simple. The pilots should have known something was wrong.
Well, this airplane doesn't feel right. I gotta be missing something. This before the bells and the whistles and the horns and all the audio displays and all that bullshit. It's in your feet and in your ass and in your arms.
She's down for a while.
The deal was to deliver 2 water bombers to Turkey and train pilots for the start of their fire season. Now, with the fire season just weeks away, there's only one working plane. So Joe gets on the phone.
Yeah, I just want to talk to you before I talk to the turkeys to see which airplane it is. Which one's ready to go first?
He brokers a deal to get another water bomber to Turkey right away.
We got another airplane ready to meet their deadline time.
A stopgap measure to keep the program moving forward. But it'll be a few months before this plane flies again. On the next episode of Ice Pilots NWT. The Electra gets caught in a whiteout.
We're flying blind.
Joe's on the rampage.
I want that chief out of my office right now. I'm not anybody around, joking.
And someone's going to watch.
I do not give a shit.